Unit rate is a special type of rate that has a denominator of 1. That means it's the amount of something per 1 of something else. It can be written as a fraction, as a number over 1. It can be written as a number to 1 as something else. But then when we're asked to write the unit rate, after we've calculated whatever this number should be, we often just write this number. The constant proportionality is the same as this number, when the unit rate is constant, meaning always the same. So the unit rate is constant when quantities are proportional. Considering this first example, there's 2 students who want to prepare crepes for all of the students in their class. We know that the recipe makes 20 crepes and needs 2 eggs. So we're going to find a constant proportionality. We're dividing 2 by 20 and find out that it is 1/10 egg per crepe. Even though we don't write the units, it's important to understand what they would be so that we understand the context of the constant proportionality in this problem. If we need 1/10 egg for 1 crate, we can rewrite this to say 1 egg makes 10 crepes. And this is specifically the context of the constant of proportionality, what it means in this specific problem. Well then, how many eggs are needed to make 50 crepes? I take my number of crepes and multiply that by my unit rate to get the number of eggs, because we have crepes times eggs over crepes, which means I'm just left with eggs, because anything over itself cancel to 1. Let's look at this next example. The student needs to make 3 cookies for each of the 96 students. That means that we need 96 times 3 cookies, which is 288. We also know that 36 cookies fit on 2 sheets. We want to know, is the number of cookies proportional to the number of cookies used in baking? And we're going to look at making a table. I know if I need 2 sheets, it fits 36 cookies. If I double that, I get 4. That means I would also double the 36. That gives me 72 cookies. Now to turn 2 into 8, that means I multiply by 4. So if I multiply 36 by 4, I will get 144 cookies. For my last value in this table, I'm going to take 2 and multiply it by 8 to get 16. That means I'm going to do the same thing with 36. I'm going to multiply it by 8, and I get 288. Now to find my unit rate, I have to divide y by x. When I divide y by x, I'm dividing 36 by 2, which gives me 18. Because my unit rate is always the same, 36 divided by 2 is 18, 72 divided by 4 is 18, 144 divided by 8 is 18, and 288 divided by 16 is 18. My constant proportionality is 18. So in terms of this problem, it means I can make 18 cookies per one sheet. Now I'm going to look at it taking 2 hours to bake 8 sheets of cookies. How long will it take to finish? What time will they finish if they start at 4 p.m.? I need 288 cookies, and I know 18 fit on one sheet. That means I need 16 cookies because 288 divided by 18 is 16. If it takes 2 hours to bake 8 sheets, I know that 8 times 2 gives me 16. So now I look at the number of sheets, or the number of hours. I start with 2 hours. Because I multiplied 8 by 2, I have to multiply this 2 by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. It will take me 4 hours to bake 16 sheets. 4 p.m. plus 4 hours gives me 8 p.m. I know they will finish at 8 p.m. Please pause the video and try this on your own. Again, please press pause. We're looking at 2 students who are buying pop or soda for a neighborhood picnic. Each person is expected to drink 1 can of pop. That means the number of people is equal to the number of cans of pop. One of the students says that if they multiply the unit price for a can of soda by the number of people, they will determine the total cost. The other student says if they divide the cost of a 12-pack by the number of sodas, they will determine the cost. We want to know which student is right. So if I multiply the cost per can, which is the unit price, by the number of people, that means I have the cost of 1 can times, because we know that the number of people is the same as the number of cans, we've got that times the number of cans. So that will in fact give us the total cost of whatever that number of cans is. On the other hand, if we take the other method, we have 12 cans in the unit rate, so in the 12 pack, so that's the cost of 12 cans divided by 12 will give us the cost of 1 can. This is our unit rate, which means our first student here, Carlos, is correct that he gets the total number of cans, and Louis, unfortunately, is finding a unit rate. It's important to check both students' work because they could both be correct.